Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Fire and Ice is a popular poem by American poet Robert Frost. The poem was written and published in 1920. The poem weighs up the probability of two differing apocalyptic scenarios represented by the elements of the poem's title, Fire and Ice. There are two reported inspirations for the poem. The first of these is Dante's Inferno, which is a poetic and literary journey into hell written in the 14th century. The other is a reported conversation Frost had with an astronomer in which they talked about the sun exploding or extinguishing fire or ice. The poem revolves on the age-old question whether the world will end in fire or ice. Robert Frost cautions a common man and says that he should not forget the bitter reality that everything in this world is transitory and death is inevitable. This poem symbolizes the two opposite human emotions, love and hate, and their destructive sides. The poem shows how both of these can bring the end of everything. The poem, Fire and Ice. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Symbolism in Fire and Ice. The poem speaks about destruction, both imminent and intended. The poet chooses two methods of destruction, either with fire or with ice. The two elements, fire and ice, represent two human emotions, desire and hatred. But why would Frost use fire and ice to be the representative of desire and hate? This is because of the feelings invoked by the two. Desire is exactly like fire. You start with the initial feeling of wanting something, the spark has been ignited and it slowly spreads. Like fire, the desire grows in you, slowly taking up more space in your heart, consuming every other logicality. Within some time, like fire consumes a large forest, desire has taken over. Now the person wants his desire to be fulfilled or else he is consumed with it. Ice is representing hatred and nothing could fit better. Ice is like hatred, cold and chilling. There is no warmth in the heart of a person filled with hate. It is cold. Cold is also used to represent lifelessness, and hence ice shows unbothered nature. Hence, fire and ice symbolism fit perfectly by representing two opposite emotions with two opposite elements. Poetic Devices. Metaphor. It is a figure of speech in which a word or a phrase is applied to an object or action to which it is not literally applicable. Example: fire here depicts desire and greed, and ice depicts hatred and coldness in relations. Symbolism. The poem Fire and Ice is symbolic as it does not talk about the scientific assumptions, but rather psychological reasons which would lead to the destruction of the world. Here, fire means greed, which makes a man inhuman. On the other hand, ice means hatred, which makes a person enemy of the other. Alliteration. It is the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. Example: some say favor, fire. The alliterated sound is underlined. Assonance. It is a repetition of vowel sounds in the same line. Example: hold with those who favor fire. Enjambment. It is a continuation of a sentence without a pause beyond the end of a line, couplet or stanza. Example: some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. Anaphora. It is a repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of successive clauses. Example: some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. Rhyme scheme. The rhyme scheme followed by the entire poem is ABA, ABC, BCB. Personification. Personification is to give human qualities to inanimate objects. In this poem, fire and ice are capable of destruction. Therefore, the poet personifies fire and ice by giving them a mind which is capable of destroying almost anything. Imagery. Imagery is used to make readers perceive things involving their five senses. For example, some say the world will end in fire to say that for destruction, ice is also great. And finally, paradox. A true statement which seems untrue. Example, but if it had to perish twice. Happy learning and best wishes.